Hi there, Melissa from this YouTube channel, Going Our Own Pace, and Melissa N. Reynolds. I'm the founder of melissaversusfibromyalgia.com, and I have lived with chronic symptoms for a very long time, and I've been sharing my journey here on this channel, and its mission is simple. I share anything I learn in my journey in case it helps you in yours. And at the moment, I'm really on a rest kick. I've been working on updating my rest yoga toolkit, and I've been really thinking about how you make it practical and what is the point. Yeah, we all want to rest, but why would we prioritize it, right? We're all busy, we're all exhausted. Like, why would we add another thing to our day? And look, I think it's important. I think it is so important. And I will tell you that I don't think I would have improved from moderate to severe to mild symptoms without learning to rest. And there's a lot of reasons for that. And I could talk about it all day, and I've written all about it in my books. But the most important things come down to how I use it in my symptom management plans. So in this series, I want to share about the key ways that we use those tools in our symptom management plans. So we're going to break it down one at a time. Let's dive. So we've talked about pain management, flare management, and pacing. And you can see kind of hopefully how it all mixes together. And I hope that you've learned something helpful. The final one is using it in our sleep. Now, sleep is so important. I know when you don't get sleep, it's a big deal. And I had chronic insomnia for a long time. Like, I met a locum GP when I was like 18 or 19. He saw my history of sleep problems and put me on amitriptyline. He didn't say anything about it at the time, but he must have suspected fibromyalgia or something of the like. Otherwise, he wouldn't have put me on low-dose amitriptyline. But from that age, like, I was so tired and having such problems with sleep that I was put on that medicine at that age. I had trouble falling asleep, staying asleep. I woke up too early, and I had terrible quality sleep. Like, no deep sleep, no REM sleep. I would wake up feeling worse than I went to bed, and I felt pretty bad when I went to bed. So when I found a tool that helped me to compensate for the lack of sleep, it was a big deal for me. I started Yoga Nidra guided meditation. I started with a 20-minute practice when my first son was small, and I was miserable because at least before that I had been able to stay in bed as long as it was necessary to get 8 very broken hours of sleep. But with him, I wasn't able to. I had to stay up late because he took a dream feed at 10. And so by the time I fell asleep and then got up and down myself, and then he was up by 6 a.m. most mornings. So there was just not enough time in bed. So I found it, and I was so grateful. And what I noticed is that by having my Yoga Nidra rest, I actually help myself at bedtime. So when I've had my Yoga Nidra rest, I have a better quality sleep, and it's easier to fall asleep. Even with absolutely everything I do, even with quetiapine, even with low-dose naltrexone, even with everything I do, there is still that impact. And so on a day, a very rare day, but on a day I can't do a rest, or for some reason maybe I'm in too much pain and I'm not able to rest. You know those days when your pain is just so bad, your body is like humming, and so there's just no way you can focus on anything. On those days, then it's harder to fall asleep, and my quality is just not there. It is just directly related. So it has a big impact. So in essence, using the rest tools during the day in our pacing plans and our pain management plans and our flare plans, it actually helps our sleep. It all has it's a virtuous circle. But I also have talked for a long time about having a mindful evening routine. I also talk a lot, and have done in this series, about using all the tools in our arsenal, right? So I'm not just jumping into bed and expecting that quetiapine is going to make me sleep. It's going to help, but I've got to do all the other stuff. So I've got to move, I've got to get natural sunlight, and I've got to do a wind down routine. I don't have to be as strict anymore. So for a long time there, I would do some gentle stretching, some gentle massage, and then I would get in and do a body scan meditation. And then whenever I woke in the night, I would do a body scan meditation to get back to sleep. Now I don't need to do quite as much, but I still definitely do a wind down routine. And I think that's where our rest tools can be really helpful. So in the evening, we could do some restorative yoga. We could do some meditation of whatever type we like, body scan meditation, Yoga Nidra meditation, whatever rest tool we like. But I think it is a valuable tool. It could be the only thing in our evening wind down routine, or it could be a good part of it, and we could have several things. but I think it's a really valuable tool to have in our arsenal. And I think the other important thing is having it so that when we wake up in the night, on those nights when we are going to be in too much pain to sleep, or for some reason we're just not asleep despite being so tired, if we know, okay, I just put on my Yoga Nidra, or I just put on my body scan, whatever it is, I do that thing. So you don't wake up and you fret and panic and worry. You wake up, you do the thing. And then for me, 9 times out of 10, I'm back to sleep before the thing is even finished. But even if we're not, even if we repeat it for the rest of the night, we are giving our bodies rest. We are keeping the nervous system happy, and we are keeping ourselves occupied, because the emotional burden of these conditions is not something to be ignored. You know, I think maybe half the benefit of having these tools is that I know that I have tools that I can use when I need them. I don't have to pay for them. Once I've got them, they're mine. I can use them anyway, anytime. I don't have to wait for it to be prescribed. No one can take it off me. It is there, and it is my thing to do. And that is powerful. After many, many, many years of so much pain, so much fatigue, no help, long nights of no rest, I have that, and no one can take it from me. And I think that is the most important part. So now, after more than 20 years of insomnia, I generally get 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and generally get near the normal amount of deep and REM sleep. It's hit and miss. Sometimes I'll get a heap of REM sleep and no deep sleep, or the other way around, and sometimes I just don't, and that's fine. That's what happens, life, right? Especially hormonally, for someone who's had a hysterectomy, that stuff is part of it. But I know I've got these tools, and I think that's really important. So I would like to encourage you to try a rest tool and add it into your bedtime routine, and see if it makes any difference for you, and add it into that overnight routine. Heck, add it to the early morning routine. If you're waking up too early and you feel terrible, put on a Yoga Nidra meditation. I mean, there are so many. I've got one for you. You can have for free. Grab the link below. 10 minutes, that's all you need. But you can do anything from 5 minutes to 50 minutes to, I don't know, 2 hours. There's loads. And in my Rest Yoga Toolkit, I've got loads of tools. And it's not just about the tools, it's about trying the tools and then using them strategically, which is what this series has been all about. So I hope it's been helpful. I hope it's helped you to consider these tools and any other tools you have for managing pain and fatigue, and using them strategically. Make a pain management plan, make a flare plan, make a pacing plan, make a sleep plan. Even if right now you don't have much wiggle room, even if your flare plan is just do 10 minutes of Yoga Nidra at one point in the day, right? Like whatever you can do, try it, and then let me know how it goes. I hope it helps, my friend, I really do. And if you haven't seen the other parts in the series, check them out and let me know how it goes for you.